Let's talk about violin technique today. I'd like to talk about the top 5 worst violin technique mistakes that I've seen both with my own playing and with my students so far. Eliminating those roadblocks will help you a lot on your violin journey, and in today's video, I'd like to show you 5 effective exercises that will help you overcome them as fast as possible. Let's do this. The greatest violin teacher of the 20th century said, "Art begins where technique ends." While technique isn't everything, it is the first step to playing the music you love, and once I corrected these right and left-hand technique mistakes myself, my progress skyrocketed. It's much easier to achieve your personal violin goals when you're not constantly fighting your hands and your fingers. The first topic I'd like to address today is squeezing your left-hand thumb too hard. As I'm sure you already know, your hands are built to grab things, and your thumb is the most important tool for that. It gives you the optimal support for your left-hand fingers when it comes to violin playing, and among other things, it will help you with consistent intonation, shifting, and vibrato, but none of that will be possible if you've got your violin in a death grip and play like this, for example. Not only does this restrict your technique, but it'll cause your hand to tire out and even become painful and numb in extreme circumstances. I've seen this in some beginner and intermediate students, and once this big mistake was corrected, it was much easier for them to play. One important point about the thumb is the placement on the neck. Some violinists like to keep their thumbs back behind the first finger, and others keep the thumb further forward, closer to the second finger. In my experience, my third and fourth fingers have more strength when the thumb is closer to them, and since this area of the hand is the strongest, it helps support the weaker fingers with vibrato, shifting, and fast technical playing. If you haven't tried bringing your thumb forward, I'd experiment with it for a couple of weeks to see if you notice a difference. Now, here's an exercise that will really help you with developing that relaxed thumb for your left-hand fingers. Exercise 1. Play a simple 4-finger scale on the A string while you float your thumb away from the neck, like this. You remove the thumb from the neck as you play separate bows slowly up and down the scale. By doing this, you'll realize that you can still play basic music without the use of your thumb. It may be a little more uncomfortable for your neck and chin, but you'll only feel this for a few moments while you learn to disconnect your thumb from the neck of the violin. Next, play the same 4-finger scale on the A string, but tap the thumb to the neck while you play each note like this. This will slowly reintroduce your thumb to the neck of the violin. By practicing these 2 exercises every day, you'll have a looser thumb and will be able to vibrate, shift, and play much more quickly. By the way, if you want personal feedback on your playing and regular group coaching, you can sign up to my waiting list for Violin Virtuoso using the link in my description. If accepted, you'll join other students in a cohort that'll take you through a structured curriculum to help you learn to play the music you love. It's free to join the wait list, so you should definitely do it. Mistake number 2, playing with the left arm too far back. So this is all about the position of the left arm, and it can be one of your biggest roadblocks to playing in tune and vibrating on your 3rd and 4th fingers. If your elbow is too far behind you, your fingers simply won't be long enough, leaving you sounding flat, and without the length, you won't have the strength to have a wide vibrato when you need it. These were the problems I was having because my arm was being held too far back. The reason why you may be playing with your arm behind you is because it's much more comfortable for your arm to be back there. When else in life do you have your elbow pulled forward like this? It may feel uncomfortable at first, but if you stay relaxed and practice this exercise, you'll start to notice how much easier it is to play in tune with your 3rd and 4th fingers. Exercise 2. You're going to play a 5-note scale on each string. Start with your elbow directly under your neck on the E string. Relax your elbow and play a 5-note scale like this. Now bring your elbow forward about a 1/2 inch, like this, and do the same on A string. Bring your elbow forward another 1/2 inch and repeat on D string. The G string will be the biggest stretch for you, so don't practice this for long when you're just starting out. You'll know you're doing it right when you have a slight bend in the fourth finger when it's in tune. You can play it with a tuner to make sure it's not flat. This might be tough the first time you do it, but if you do this every day, your muscles will begin to stretch and get used to being in the position they need to be. After a couple of weeks with this exercise, you'll become a lot more comfortable playing in tune and even getting a more singing vibrato in your third and fourth fingers. I share exercises like this regularly on this channel, so if you don't want to miss out on free tips to improve your playing, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's move on to another huge mistake I see beginner and intermediate players making. Mistake number 3, not using bow arm weight. So this is also something I had no concept of until I had a teacher take the time to teach me how a deep, rich tone is created. Up until that point, I had an average tone, but it wasn't very resonant or lyrical, and I was frustrated because I had no idea how to improve it. After teaching this exercise to many of my students, they realized they didn't need a more expensive violin to sound better. They just needed to use their arm weight when they play, so let me show you what I taught them. Exercise 3. I want you to think about the last time you carried your sleeping child off to bed, or when you had to move anybody when they were asleep. They can feel heavy, right? I want you to lift your left hand to support your right arm under your elbow. And let your arm feel the same way those unconscious people did to you, like total dead weight. The average male arm weighs 5 pounds, so if you're doing it right, it'll feel heavy. There shouldn't be any tension in any part of your arm, so make sure you relax your shoulder, elbow, wrist, and hand, and let them all hang into your left hand. Now to test your arm weight, pull your left hand away and let your arm drop to your side. If you suspend your arm, it'll float here. We don't want to be suspended. That feeling of suspension is what we are avoiding during this exercise. Make sure to let the arm fall like this. Once you've gotten that feeling, you're going to swap your hand for the bow, and now you can hang your arm into the bow. Like this. If you're having trouble letting your arm become dead weight, I want you to think about relaxing your upper back as well. Everything here is about relaxing, hanging the arm, and using dead weight. Now test the arm weight on the string by trying to move the bow and see if you can tug at the violin. If you're suspending the arm, the bow will move like this. We want to make sure you're not pressing or forcing the bow into the string. This is all from relaxed, dead weight. Again, this is what we're going for. Now draw the bow with a quick stroke to hear your new sound. This is the very beginning of creating a resonant, huge sound. I'll be talking more about how to develop this in upcoming videos, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. Mistake number 4, using a shallow bow hold. This next topic also concerns your right arm, and this will help put all your weight into the bow. This is about your bow hold. For years I had a shallow bow hold, but I had trouble producing a clean and consistent tone. If you have a bow hold like this, you may have a smaller sound and as a result, find yourself pressing or squeezing to get a full sound. When I let the stick fall under these upper knuckles of the index finger, I can imagine pouring the gravity from the arm into the bow. So here's a more shallow bow hold. And if you have a little deeper this way, the stick's gonna fall underneath this knuckle and this knuckle. This allows for the weight to create your tone without any effort at all. The rest of the fingers fall loosely next to the index finger. Now when I play, I really don't need anything but my index finger and thumb, and I'm completely relaxed. This both simplifies the process and gives you a better sound, whether you're playing singing legato notes or quick martelé ones. Here's the exercise to do 5 times per day to adjust your bow hold. Take your right thumb and touch the last knuckle of your middle finger. Turn your arm over like you're dumping a bowl of soup onto the ground. Put the index finger on the stick right at the winding. The thumb's gonna go underneath the stick right here, between the grip and the frog. This fourth finger goes over the bird's eye. Call it a little bird's eye here. Your pinky finishes by being rounded on top. So again, here's the exercise. Thumb to the middle finger last joint. When you come down, the thumb goes underneath the stick between the frog and the winding. The index finger will fall between these two knuckles. Let the rest of the fingers fall together. Put that fourth finger right over the bird's eye. Let the pinky relax and be curly. Learning to have a deeper bow hold will simplify your playing while giving you a huge boost in tone quality and volume when you want it. So make sure to do this 5 times per day. Mistake number 5, hand coordination. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons you may have sloppy playing, especially when it comes to fast runs. As a violinist, your hands are doing completely different tasks, so we need to synchronize your hands perfectly to make sure your notes come out clean and precise. I had no idea this was a famous practice technique, even though I'd been playing the violin for years, and today it's still the first exercise I practice to clean up fast passages. Here's how it works. Exercise 5. Pick a short passage and play each note with a quick, heavy stroke, called a martelet stroke, like this. Now, as soon as you finish playing that note, put your next finger down and wait. If you have a string crossing, cross the string at the same time and wait, like this. This allows time for your mind and fingers to prepare for the next note. Think about relaxing, then throw your bow arm for the second martelet stroke, quickly putting down your next finger and wait. Here they are together. Move. Next. Each finger and the bow is where it should be immediately after the previous note has just been played. The focus on all of this should be a heavy bow arm and quick fingers, but don't let yourself start rushing and run away with it, because that defeats the purpose of taking time to synchronize your hands. If you do this with each of your difficult passages, you'll feel like your runs become magically easier and cleaner within just a few days. I hope that you had a lot of fun checking out these common technique mistakes with me today, and as always, I hope that I can help you out on your personal violin journey. Don't forget to sign up to my Violin Virtuoso waiting list to take your playing from intermediate to incredible through live coaching, personal feedback, and structured curriculum. I have a limited number of students, and the cohorts only start once every 3 months. Click the link in the video description to get on the waiting list, and I'll see you again soon. Have fun practicing till then.